It is the midday workforce on the rhythm of the city, 94.3 WYBC. I'm Wanda Coppage. So this month over at Yale Rep, you have another great stage production that I know you're going to want to see. Nikolai Gogol's, correct me if I'm wrong on that, nice. The Inspector. It's newly adapted and directed by who I have with me today, Mr. Yura Kordonsky. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for agreeing to be with us today. So, The Inspector is running from March 7th through the 29th. Tell us a little bit about The Inspector.
Here, The Inspector is the play. It's a very old play written by Nikolai Gogol in 1836. So it's almost 2 centuries old. And it's one of the probably most important pieces of Russian literature remaining until today. A play that affected a lot of great Russian writers in their own work. It's a play that seemingly on surface is written in the genre of vaudeville or farce, if you wish,
Okay.
and indeed it does follow certain rules of the genre, but at the same time it cuts much deeper, and it describes social corruption and human corruption in ways that no other vaudeville comedy have ever done. Until now, I believe. So it's really a combination of a social satire about a group of people who live in the middle of nowhere town, being stealing, cheating, bribing all their lives, and suddenly face the consequences. And at the same time, it also speaks about the human existential yearning for better life, for light at the end of the tunnel, for some joy that the people of this little town described in the play rarely see.
Nice. Now, you said that this play in particular is very impactful for Russian playwrights. How so for you specifically?
Well, that's the play takes a quite a deep look at the human nature, not just even though, again, as I said, on the level of the plot, it is about corruption and social corruption. It's in the deeper in its deeper layers. It looks at the effect of the corruption on human soul,
Mm,
the totality of the corruption that essentially changes people, changes all of us as members of the community, and erodes the very fabric of our coexistence. So, in that sense, it reaches deeper layers of human psyche, and that is extremely exciting to me.
yeah. And obviously I can tell that you're very passionate about this, very in those intricate details you want to capture. So what was your approach for this adaptation as the
Uh,
director?
the in full understanding that it's an old play written 2 centuries ago, of course,
Mhm.
with all the both like both the aesthetics of the old-fashioned theater, and also the certain political implications that today feel very old-fashioned or old or problematic. And of course, we living in 2025 cannot just take the play as is and put it on stage as it was written, as it was produced 2 centuries ago. We went the way of adaptation of this play for contemporary audience by also taking a very old translation of this play into English. The translation itself is more than a century old, and
Wow.
thus gives us an absolute freedom in working with the language. So in my own adaptation, I made a lot of cuts. I cut whole scenes. I cut whole character lines. I created characters that I don't exist or barely mentioned in the original script, and amplify them into a much bigger presence. So working with an old play has its own advantages of the freedom of adapting and interpreting today that new plays may be less open to.
Nice. You spoke about cutting characters. Tell us a little bit about the cast, if you will, and working with the cast. Have you worked with any of these actors before?
This is another major feature of this production that makes it all so joyful for everyone who works on that. From the very beginning, when we started talking with the producing office about casting, I came in with the idea of casting entirely among David Geffen School of Drama graduates.
Okay.
Every member of the 12 character cast is a former or current student of the school, and these are folks with incredible talent, incredible passion for theater, dedication, people who share the same vocabulary, the same work ethic, and in the end of the day, practically each and every of them at a certain point in their training at school was my student. So
Nice.
we are in the room where the community was created on day one. It took zero time for us to actually form the community. It was there right away, and that's a very special kind of environment, very unique, and joy. And every minute of that is joyful.
That must be a full circle moment for you to see that you actually, yeah, you poured into these students to see them perform on stage. Now we have to see them perform on stage. I'm looking forward to it. But YaleRep.org, of course, you know where to get your tickets. And again, as I mentioned, March 7th through the 29th. Yura, before we wrap, how long have you been in theater as a director? How long have you been doing this?
Oh, if you can do the math, I started working in theater professionally since 1989. So
Wow.
whatever many years it makes, I'm a little scared to count.
It's
Uh,
because that it's around my age, put it like that, because I was born in the 80s. So
so
we
you
could
had
do
a
the
chance
math
to
on
see my shows as a baby. And
yeah, wow. Would you say, or can you tell us a little bit after this what you have planned next, what you will be working on?
I am going on a leave, on an academic leave in the fall, which is my first in 10 years of teaching at Yale. So I'm looking forward to building some possible projects. I have a lot of communication with Eastern European theater companies where I often work, and I plan on creating some production in the fall.
We've gone to a couple of them, the past productions that Yale Rep has presented, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. The set is always amazing. The engagement from the audience is always great. The cast, the director. So yes, I'm grateful to have the opportunities to speak with everyone that I've been speaking with, including you. So listeners, you have to go get your tickets. YaleRep.org. You get to see this adaptation of The Inspector presented by Yura Kordonsky. And we are looking forward to it. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, and hope to see you at the show.
Absolutely. We're going to get you back into some more great R&B. You got to keep it locked right here to WYBC. I'm Wanda Coppage for the Midday Workforce.